All right, welcome in trackside here. Laurel Park ahead of Preakness 151 alongside Barry Spears. My name is Louie Barry. This is the Horse Racing Happy Hours continuing coverage, frankly. Been here for a couple days now, Barry,
Yeah.
of Preakness 151, of course. I won off this year here at Laurel Park. But Barry, fun day yesterday.
Super fun.
You and I hit the pick six. That makes it very fun.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. No, we had a pretty good day.
Yeah, no, it turned out really well. I would really, frankly, enjoy getting to explore more of this part of the state. Some of the restaurants around here, some of the small town sort of charm of Laurel as well. So it's been really great here in the area as well. Once we found, proper accommodations, we were quite good to go.
Yeah. No, this has been great. Start to finish. Yesterday was a great day. It kind of warmed up. It was ended up being a nice
Goodness gracious, yeah.
day weather-wise.
Yeah.
The racing was great. We saw some great performances. Miss Mo was really good yesterday, and a couple others. So I'm expecting a lot more of that today.
Safi sweeping the late picks, the late double there, essentially in the graded stakes between the Pimlico Special with Navajo Warrior in the grade 2, or excuse me, the grade 3 Pimlico Special, and then the grade 2 Black Eyed Susan Miss Melody. What do you make of her? What did she turn into this summer? Is she a Saratoga type horse to you?
Yes, she definitely. I mean, that was a tough trip she got, and she stuck it out. Yeah, I mean, it's a shame that she didn't run in the Oaks, but
Sure.
I'm sure she's going to end up meeting those rivals down the line here.
No, I think that's right. Second in the Gulfstream Park Oaks, goes ahead and wins the grade 2 here at Laurel Park. And I thought, frankly, in the exact kind of style that she needed to do it. And that is where I wanted to go early in the conversation here, Barry. Track biases, all those kinds of things that we saw yesterday. I think the turf course here, if you have something that you do well, this turf course will allow you to do it. You can close well. You can close here. We saw Sama go ahead and just go gate to wire in a turf sprint yesterday for trainer Kent Sweezy. You haven't seen that photo.
Shout out to my man
Circle
Kent
here.
Sweezy and
Hard
company.
to take Barry anywhere with us, but yeah, it's a I think a turf course that's playing as fair as possible. A lot of great turf races today, certainly as far as
Yeah, the thing about Laurel, and I've always said this, is that it plays really a lot like Belmont Park, where
you have some.
the best horse usually wins, because the way the setup and the layout is of this track, you get your opportunities. You don't really get compromise, especially on the turns. And we saw a lot of that yesterday. Horses that could win on the lead, won on the lead. Horses that could come off the pace did, and everything was pretty fair.
On the dirt, though, not a lot of front-running wins yesterday, but I don't think we also had super strong front-running horses yesterday either. Your take on the dirt course yesterday? I mean, we saw some last to first. We saw a little bit of stalking, that kind of thing.
Yeah,
Does that change how you feel about the Preakness?
No. I mean, if it's like yesterday, I think it's a very fair track. You can do whatever you need to do. If you're
Not
the best
overly
horse,
speedy, frankly.
nope,
Which is
no.
interesting. Yep.
Well, yeah, usually
Because we get used to those parking lots on
right.
big days.
They
Yeah, for
they
sure,
get
yeah.
souped up, and
Yeah,
it's a highway out there, but not yesterday. So hopefully that trend continues and we get some great racing.
Yeah, no, really good stuff. Appreciate your insights there. It was such an interesting day as well, because you always on these kinds of trips, especially when it's a one-off like this, Barry, where we're not at Pimlico. So this isn't a course where, if you're Jose Ortiz or something, and you win a graded stakes yesterday, or you win a stakes yesterday, excuse me, man, you had to figure out that timing on your own, because you're probably not riding Laurel Park very often. But the local horses showed up well too. I mean, Brittany Russell had a nice day yesterday. Sheldon Russell, frankly, won a stake yesterday as well. I'm looking for more of that today as well.
Yeah. The local contingent, they have some strong horses in today, just like they did yesterday. A few of them won. Yeah, on the dirt here, the eighth pole is on the stretch, so it's
right.
hard to kind of, for the jockeys to find out where they need to push the button. But once they figure it out, Irad got used to it really quickly yesterday.
Yes.
But yeah, this track is going to be okay, and there's a few horses I'm really looking forward to today.
It's not especially easy just to see from where our camera's mounted today, but this track, because of its layout, Barry, there's nothing in the infield essentially, right? So if you needed to take a sight line as a jockey and try to figure out, okay, there's the quarter pole, or there's that eighth pole you just mentioned, something like that, you might be able to actually scout those things out, as well as jockeys can do those things because of the layout of this place. But yeah, real good mix of national and local association. Jersey's here.
Jersey's
right.
in the house.
There you go. Races you're looking forward to today, other than the Preakness? Is there one that stands out in your mind?
There's a turf race with Austere in the 11th, I think it is today.
The Gallerette?
The Gallerette, yeah. Austere, the 5 horse in this race, it's coming back off of a race that, if you saw it, you were wondering why this horse went to the lead.
Right.
Now it makes a lot more sense. This was the target the whole time. I think this horse is cranked, ready to go. Brendan Walsh was here yesterday,
Yep.
talked to him a little bit, and I think this horse is ready to go.
Yeah, Brendan Walsh stood next to me for an earlier stakes race with a horse that came out of a maiden win at Keeneland, who ran like sixth, and then he didn't talk to me the rest of the day.
I don't blame him.
I'm
Hey,
about that.
hey, I don't blame him.
That's what it is. Yeah, no, we all got our thing for sure. But Austere in race 11 will be the 5-horse there, daughter of Mendelssohn. Will be running in that one. I'm always fascinated by other people's opinions of this. I'm convinced horse racing does something really well that I hope we hold on to forever, which is we have things like the dinner party stakes.
Yeah.
Like that's just spectacular stuff. I love that I get to cover a sport where we think of things like the dinner party stakes as important.
Right. It's celebratory dinner party.
$1,000 race, man. Like the dinner party. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite stakes name? Patrick?
Well, yeah. Actually, yesterday the very one,
Not the very one, yes. It's a good one.
and there's two of them.
There are two of them. It's jump to too, yeah.
That's one of my favorites.
That's pretty good. I like that one a lot. Yeah. I like that Churchill Downs is so arrogant that they're like, you know what? Name of that race? Churchill Downs. I like that.
It's just the Church of
No, it's just Churchill Downs. Deal with it. You want something else? Deal with it. No.
the Jack Harlow song. Yeah.
It's how it feels like it for sure. All right, man. You want to do some handicapping?
What else do we do?
All right. Well,
Do we do anything else?
let's
I don't
talk
know.
stakes,
I don't
man.
think so.
Keep at is race 4 today. It's going to be on the dirt here, 6 furlongs. Fillies and mares 3 and up in this one, Barry. The undercard sprint race on the filly and mare side here in race 4. You landed in on the 2-horse in here, Barry, at Passage East. Speaking of local connections.
Yeah, I think this horse is on the bounce back. Got a little kind of lost his way a little bit and lost a few races, but prior to that, he was in razor sharp form. I think he won like 5 out of 7 and comes into this race in good form. I mean, off of a slight layoff. So I think this horse is going to be cranked up, ready to go.
Our guy, Johnny Piazzik, who always helps us with picks, by the way, horseracinghappyhour.com. Those will be up very, very soon. Helps us with these picks. Agrees with you on top. He goes 2 and 3 in this race. You went 2, 4, 3. I do have the 3 on top in Kappa Kappa for the Reed Barn here. John Velasquez is going to get the mount here. This is one that we saw win the Raven Run at 7 furlongs, Barry, and then went ahead and tried the Comely over the 2 turns at Aqueduct. Just didn't like the 2 turns. I think getting back to the 6 furlongs here makes a lot of sense. I think this is just a launching point for the rest of the year. I think they think a lot more of her outcoming, especially out of that grade 2 win at Keeneland. I'm interested to see what she does today. Daughter of Omaha Beach, we see those names. I don't think they quite know what to do with the Omaha Beaches yet, but obviously with her, I think sticking to this, the 1 turn sort of dirt thing is going to work out best.
Yeah, I mean, the Omaha Beaches have been kind of proven to do a little bit of everything. I've seen some win on the turf. I've seen some win on the dirt, going long, going short. So seems like a versatile sire down the road. But Kappa Kappa is lightly raced and run good every time, obviously.
Yep.
And I don't expect a lesser performance. It's just a matter of trip and getting there. Johnny V's the guy. So
Yeah, right.
yeah, I mean, I wouldn't want anybody else on my horse.
No, that's right. And I consider this kind of a local horse based on connections, trains at parks, right? And so that's, you think of the Mid-Atlantic thing here at Laurel Park and other places. I think of that as well. The Reed Barn, certainly one of those staples. Within this race, though, you went to the 4 second. I know you're a cold exacta kind of player. Jose Ortiz is going to ride Benedetta for Steve Asmussen today. This is one of those horses we saw in that ratings handicap at Oaklawn, but before that did try some other listed kind of stakes company, was been in a couple of graded stakes as well. I think her best win is probably at Oaklawn Park, the American Beauty last year,
Yeah.
6 furlongs. She'll try that again today.
Yeah, and I think this is her strong suit. This race dynamic isn't all that fast up front, and that's why I kind of gravitated toward Passage East. But
Okay.
there's versions of this race where Vendetta gets the lead, and that might be a dangerous thing. Jose Ortiz, obviously a heady kind of rider, great judge of pace, so he'll put this horse where they need to be in order to win. It's a little bit tough task, but this horse is battle tested. There's been a few stakes races that a lot of these haven't.
Yeah, I think she's an interesting one too because they set her up, and this is such a Steve Asmussen thing, to see a horse in the ski pad here at Laurel Park that ran in the Mahoning Distaff last year. I mean, that's such Steve Asmussen stuff that it touches me deep in my soul. You understand me? It's deep in my soul that horse is all over the place trying things out, runs in the American Beauty. They're just obviously trying to get some kind of black type, some kind of listed stakes into her pedigree for sure. But, it's interesting. This kind of horse is why the undercard, I think, on the Preakness Day is so good, because so often we hear, oh, it's not a grade whatever, or it's not this. Man, give me these kinds of races where horses are trying out this kind of level, or like haven't worked yet, or maybe it's the surface here that'll work. I love these kinds of races.
Yeah, because you get that potpourri of lower level horses that are around the same kind of class level, and they bump heads, and it makes for great racing, always close.
I apologize. There is a national anthem going on in the background. We're going to keep the show going, but if you've never been to the Preakness, one of the absolute gems of this is that so many Navy and naval service members make their way to the races. It's a guy in a Navy outfit singing that beautiful, just that beautifully, and impossible, frankly, Barry, in this state to not feel the presence of that Navy sort of ethic around here. People are so proud of that.
Oh, yeah.
And I know for you and your family.
Yeah, no, it definitely hits home. My son's in the Navy, and I get a lot of well wishes around here. Yesterday, people that knew, and this is what America's about.
Yeah, it's supposed to be at least. And yeah, so we'll get back to the handicapping in just a moment. If you're listening to us on ESPN 680 or 157, we appreciate you back in Louisville there as well. Barry Spears, my name's Louie Barry. This is the Horse Racing Happy Hour. We're trackside at Laurel Park ahead of Preakness 151. Trying to be as respectful as we can be right now during the national anthem without interrupting our broadcast all the way. So 9:12 was the decision of the time for the national anthem. 9:12.
9:12.
Wow.
Yeah.
We never know when it's going to be.
No,
We just never.
that's 2 days in a row.
It's great stuff. I love it so much. I was lovely. I mean, legitimately lovely.
Enrico Palazzo.
All right, so the Sir Barton this year is a fascinating race to me, Barry, because of the layout of the track here at Laurel Park. This is a 1.16 race, so 8.5 furlongs. We're running on the dirt here. If you are unfamiliar with the finish lines here, you might see very dumb people posting, oh, they're using the first finish line for the Preakness or something. Well, at Laurel Park, the first finish line is the finish line. It is way up the stretch, so don't worry about that. Frankly, it's further up the stretch than at Belmont Park.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's a longer stretch here than there is at Belmont Park, so don't worry about those things for sure. What I would say there about this one is they're going to start, and getting to the first turn is going to be quick, but the good news is only a 6 or 7 horse field here probably shouldn't be an issue for too many.
Yeah, kind of disappointed that Reagan Honor is not going to be in the starting gate today for this event. I was really looking forward to seeing that one on the track, which kind of decimates this field a little bit. I think Final Story, the 4, probably has a huge pace advantage over these horses. Obviously, he's the fastest of them all. We'll get the lead and probably go wire to wire here. I don't see anybody challenging this horse at all.
Talking race 6 today here at Laurel Park. It is an unfortunate thing. I think Sheree said he spiked a fever on the trip, that kind of thing. And obviously, we know that fevers will scratch you out of the freaking Cup Classic. So obviously, they're going to scratch you out of the Sir Barton. But he's an interesting horse. Let's talk about him anyway, because Reagan's Honor was one of those in the Bluegrass. You and I were there at Keeneland, did a very similar show, frankly, ahead of that race. He was one of those horses you were very high on that day.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously coming out of the DeVoe barn, ended up not being the Derby horse, of course, out of her barn this year. But that was one that on that day, no one was touching further ado. He was always going to win that race by a bunch. Off Lasix, though, away from the fairgrounds, any concerns about those things, or were you willing to draw a line through it?
I'm willing to draw a line through that Bluegrass effort. That was a really strange race. I mean, Great White ended up on the lead. They didn't really want it. Nobody really wanted the lead, and further ado, freaked that day. So it was a really strange race, in my opinion. Okay. And I think you can put a line through it. I'd give him another shot. I would say her for Reagan. I know a lot of Reagan that are girls, unfortunately.
Well, or like maybe you're thinking of Cherie and it's her trainee. I don't know. I think both of those things are pretty reasonable.
Yeah, I guess. My bad. I'm sorry.
You're good. But Final Story is in here. 2 starts, a win last out at Keeneland, the highest level in their maiden ranks. But how many times have we seen Brad Cox turn a 7 furlonger into a 2-turner and just run away with one of these races?
At least 10 times a year, if not more than that. This one fits that same sort of mantra, in a listed stake, not even a graded stake. This is when he battle tests his horses to get them to the next level.
Race 5 starts a middle pick 5 here on the card, Barry. Is this, would you lean toward playing the pick 5 in case you did want a single? I know it's very chalky to try to single Final Story.
Well,
you want to start before this, or are you willing to be exposed in that first leg as this is a little bit?
It's tough because you really ideally as a horse player don't want to single a favorite in the first leg of any kind of pick if you can avoid it. Sometimes you can't. This might be that situation because the pool will probably be bigger than normal. So it might not stretch you as thin as you might think, especially if other, long shots went on in the sequence.
There's others in here, Barry, whose names we've heard either on the trail, like in the Wood Memorial, the one horse in here, Minor Inconvenience, out of the Amelia Green Barn, gets back to Laurel Park here. Today, this horse has always been running in New York and New York bred. But a horse like Let's Go Lando was third in the Federico Tessio going that mile and an eighth, but was third by one length in the private terms, which had a mile and a 16th. So did have to do the two-turn thing here at Laurel Park. Big Cuddle in here. We saw him in the nursery. He was really good in the fall. This is second off the layoff here. Any of those stand out to you?
I think with the addition of Paco Lopez, I think they're going to try to go for the lead again, and try to out quick
With
final
Let's Go
story. Yeah, with Let's Go Lando.
Yep.
This horse just missed the Taj Mahal a few back, and that's got to show you a little something about his talent level.
With you, man.
It's just that recently this horse hadn't shown a whole lot of speed. Paco might be able to get this horse and on the engine. If they get close to final story, they can hang around.
Gary Capuano, a very fine barn of 3-year-olds this year. Let's Go Lando, part of that contingency. As this Big Cuddle here, how do you handicap a horse like this? Very clearly, they were shooting for this race, throwing the blinkers on. You get Yetzi Hazelwood, who is the top rider here at Laurel Park. What do you make of Big Cuddle here? A little too much too soon, you think?
Yeah, I think so. Maybe in this sort of race with a horse like Final Story, but you can tell that this horse has some talent and will probably get better. I would think that horse might want to stretch out.
Pair of Maryland breds there. Let's Go Lando and Big Cuddle. Son of Great Notion is Big Cuddle. I'm interested in him because I think they're using this to find out if he likes the two turns or not. And it just happens to be in a listed stakes. So often we talk about this, Barry, the condition book for 3-year-olds these days. Earlier in the year, it's 3 and up, right? And they have to run against older horses in those allowance kind of fields or starter allowance kinds of fields. Once in a while, a horse like Big Cuddle or coming out of an optional claimer just has to try stakes count.
Yeah, what's interesting is this horse is getting blinkers on the stretch out. I don't really know what to make of that kind of move in a stakes race first time. It could be a very positive thing, but we'll find out. I mean, I guess the idea is to get some speed into this horse and get him close to the engine, where if they can get close to final story, it could be interesting.
There you go. That was the Sir Bart race 6 on the card today here at Laurel Park, mile 16 on the dirt. Essentially, the baby Preakness. It was Preakness yesterday. That the Sir Bart is the baby Preakness. But the chick leg, not a baby anything, is a listed stakes in race 7. By the way, you're hanging out with the horse racing happy hour here at Laurel Park. Thanks for hanging out with us wherever you are, whether on ESPN 680, 1057, or anywhere in the world, live with us on social media. We really do appreciate it. Chick leg, one of those sprints I always look forward to, and the longtime manager of racing there at Pimlico. 6 furlongs on the dirt here. 3-year-olds in this one. And this always, I feel like about every 2-3 years in this race, we meet a future star. We meet a horse that's going to jump up and be part of that sprinting group moving forward. And Pimlico seems to play to those horses so well. Different thing going on here because obliteration's back, brother. And I'm always interested in other people's thoughts on this. And frankly, you and I have not had this happen too terribly often in shows that we've done together. But obliteration's coming back from running in Saudi. Okay. And I've long referred to it as the Arabian Peninsula bump. If you go to UAE, if you go to Medan, if you go to Abu Dhabi, if you go to Riyadh, whatever it might be, sometimes you need a race when you get back. You need some time once you get back to the United States. But obliteration just on talent is so much considerably better than this field that even the bump might be good enough to win. Do you feel that way about obliteration?
Well, I feel a different way about the bump. Meaning that it's not as prevalent as it used to be. Like when the advent of these races over in the Middle East started, horses would come back and just get a huge bounce their next effort. The way training has differed from that point when these races started to now, layoffs, things of that sort are not as a big of a deal as they used to be. Horses win all the time of different kind of layoffs coming from shipping from all different kinds of places. I don't think it's that big of a deal anymore. But I mean, it's certainly something to think about.
Sure.
But I don't think it's as prevalent as it once was.
So I think a really good example of recent, especially 3-year-old horse success off of exactly what we're talking about. Think about like Dan and Berman this year in the Kentucky Derby.
Mhm.
He ran his eyes balls out. He was great.
Man, he was
Great,
outstanding.
right? We find out later he's got a chip and all that. He's got to have surgery. Like he's running through the chip. I mean, like how
Right.
tough this horse is. And that horse, by the way, had to ship from Japan, or excuse me, from the Middle East to Chicago, sit quarantine for like 3-4 days, and then come down to Kentucky. He still ran, a fantastic bang up derby. If he could do that, I have a feeling Obliteration could be just fine today.
Yeah, especially against this field. I don't think there's much in there beyond Obliteration. Should have his run.
Should have his run. He'll break from the 4 here. We're talking race 7, the Chip Lang today. I don't know if you are going to also be excited about picking the second chalk here as the second horse. His name's Igniter, winner a couple times at Aqueduct, for sure. 3 times, in fact. At the distance as well. I read Ortiz, Dutro Barn. I think he makes a lot of sense here too.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, he lost to a horse in Golden Tornado, who I touted over the summer at Saratoga, who coincidentally we haven't seen since that day, but that horse ran excellent that day. And then the other loss was to Paladin,
Excuse me.
who was basically one of the Derby favorites until he got hurt.
Yeah.
You really can't knock Igniter in any way. It's just, it seems like Obliteration just has a little bit of a class edge. It's very battle tested.
4-5 for both of us, frankly, in this race, Barry. I went to the 1 on the inside. I'll talk about Fulmine. It's a horse I've seen for Norm Cassie quite a bit at Churchill Downs in 2025. This is one at the sprinting distance that was really, really effective there. Goes to Tampa, wins there at an optional flamer at the 75 level. They try the Hutchins after that. The horse wins the Hutchinson after that. And, listed stakes at Gulfstream Park. I think this is a step up in class, but I got to admit to you, I mean, like, I think this is one, previously in the Sweezy Barn, now with Norm Cassie, tried the Bayshore last time. I think right amount of time off, try this track here at Laurel, never been here before, but I think 21 price, my goodness.
Yeah, that's a hell of a price getting Louis Saez. You don't see that very often. Might not even see it today, actually. That might come down.
Get a 31%.
Right, and I think
21 is not a reason. But I think I'm going to go 9-1 by the time they get it.
Well, that might affect the price, because of the fact that Louis Saez is there. They have a good percentage together, and this horse could get a setup. He could get a setup if this pace heats up, and it's certainly possible, because if you get the 6 involved with Obliteration and Igniter, this could really heat up and set up for a horse like Fulmine.
You've got a longer shot as well in your third spot. Magic Wallet will break from the 8. Victor Carrasco had a nice little winner at Turfway Park back here in Maryland, where he does most of his riding. For Kier McGee, this is one that was in an optional claimer last time at Laurel. Second off layoff here.
Yeah, I like the fact that they came off the layoff running.
Yep.
That's one of the angles I like
Top
most.
angle for you.
Yes,
Yep.
very much so. I hit a lot of long shot winners that way. Horses that run last year, come back off the layoff, run a good race, and then second time out, there's improvement.
Right.
And you can see it right here with this horse to a T. Needs a little bit of a setup. I think at best this horse should probably get into the picture somewhere at a big price.
An interesting one there, Victor Carrasco and Kieran McGee.
Locals.
Do not
Locals.
connect though. They don't actually run many horses together. You mentioned Shane's Wonder in this race, and we are talking the Chick Lang race 7 on the card today here at Laurel Park. Shane's Wonder here, Alfredo Velasquez trains Michael Sanchez, who I know you think a lot of as a jock. This is a 3-for-3 horse, been running at Parks. We see plenty of Parks horses come down here. Bullet work. Fast horse here, man.
Yeah, I mean, he's very, very, very fast. Michael Sanchez, I can't say enough good things about his riding.
Like
I think he's on the verge of being a superstar. If the kid gets a couple of good horses, which he might well be, because this program around Maryland is very, very good, we'll see him on the big stage at some point. But here he's going to have to force the pace. This horse only has one way to go.
Gotta go.
And, it could be a situation where he gets horses to go with him. Obliteration doesn't want to get too far back. Igniter definitely doesn't want to get too far back. So it could make for a very interesting race if those 3 hook up.
Trainer Alfredo Velasquez has 7 wins this year. 3 of them from Shane's Wonder. The Barrelet Spread is up next. Race 8, Grade 3 here at Laurel Park. Louie Barry and Barry Spears hanging out with you wherever you are in the world, hanging out with us on Preakness 151 Day. We really do appreciate it, whether it be at ESPN 680, 105.7, or anywhere in the world. The Grade 3 Maryland Sprint is race 8 here, Barry. 6 furlongs on the dirt course at Laurel Park, $150,000 on the line. 3 and up in this one. Barry, in race 8, I know that you landed On the 8th horse. So you are going to try Slam Notion. And this is an interesting one. We see him all over Laurel Park. A bit of a horse for course. If you want to go ahead and do that, over half of his wins in his life have come at Laurel Park, 5 for 9 lifetime, but also 3 for 4 at the distance. Davion Toledo knows this place in and out, man, and I think you're going to get every bit of the 5-1.
Yeah.
Did I just do the thing?
You said everything I was gonna say because that's exactly it. I think this is definitely a horse for a course. Running very, very well. Loves it here. Toledo does excellent. I think they're going to get a great trip.
4-year-old gelded son of Great Notion stands here in Maryland as well. Just one of those local connections, Barry. And you know what these connections were really hoping for? A rainy Preakness day.
Cold, rainy.
But horse has been in the top 6 times in 9 lifetime runs over dry dirt as well. I went a different direction here in race 8. I went to the 5 horse with Bloodlights. Second off the layoff here for Wesley Ward. This is one that we saw out west at Del Mar in the Thoroughbred Aftercare Alliance in 2024 ahead of the Breeders' Cup. And after that, got him off the turf, brought him to the dirt. And since he's been on the dirt, 3 for 3. I think just getting back to this surface, started his life at Saratoga on the dirt. They tried the turf after that. Got back to the dirt, though, recently. I get Johnny V. I get Wesley Ward. I think that this horse, Son of City Light, by the way, I think he makes a lot of sense in here. We got that first run at 6 furlongs at Keeneland. Off the layoff, Barry, what did he do? He came running.
That's it. This is one of the most competitive races on the day, honestly. And I think the betting board might get kind of turned around, especially with the bigger outfits. Like, for example, the one Bring the Smoke probably will take a lot more money than the morning line maker anticipates. But I think as a whole, this race is really solid. You can make cases for probably about 7 or 8 of these horses without a problem. It's just a matter of trip and what happens during the race. So if you're playing multis, I would use quite a few of these.
You went 8, 2, and 5 in here. The 2 horse is Faster Gator, Anthony Ferrier, local guy as well. With Irad Ortiz Jr. This one has been running in Mahoning Valley in a couple of sprints. Picked off both of those. Off the layoff here since November. What do you like about him?
Fast and getting Irad for an outfit that he would never ride for on most other days. So I'm sure he probably had his pick of horses to ride in this race. He ended up here with Anthony Ferrier's horse. His horse looks super fast on paper. Could be a contributor to a super hot pace or get out there and just wing it. But they only have one way to go.
I went 5 on top. I'll put 4 second. Haley's First Notion for the Capuano Vargas combination that we see very rarely at Laurel Park, but they've never lost.
Yeah.
Undefeated, never lost in 2 tries.
Never lost.
This one came out of a very, very impressive win last out. Vargas just lost the bug. I'm just kidding. It's a stakes race. Vargas has the bug still, but a bug boy in a stakes race
is not a bug.
Like about that? I mean, hey, we got one way, and this is another horse. We got one way to go. Go figure it out, Vargas.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough to even see who's going to be the speed of the speed here. So that might be the advantage, and it could be the 4.
Gary Capuano, of course, based here in Maryland. He's the Cotton races, and this is the place that he wins those as well. 8 lifetime runs at Laurel Park in the money in 9 career starts for Haley's First Notion as well. That is the Maryland Sprint Grade 3 there on the card in race 8. Bring the Smoke made Johnny P's list as the 2nd horse. He is not here with us today. He is busy supporting his sister. His sister, by the way, is interrupting a Preakness weekend, and I don't like that.
No.
By the way, yeah, we need to pause the show.
Bitter.
And talk about our guy Johnny P, who couldn't be with us here today because of his family. And you know what? I need him to be less of a family guy, more of a hang out with the horses.
Yeah, nobody does
What are we
that.
doing here?
Yeah, it's 2026.
Civilization. I mean,
Families don't matter. Come on.
What are we doing? Get out here, crush some cigars. Like, what are we doing? Your sister. You're hanging out with your sister.
I know. I wouldn't hang out with my sister.
Break the Smoke for Whit Beckwood. What do we think?
I hope she's not watching. She might be.
I hope she is. But no, this one that's won twice. One at Laurel. They tried this one at Keeneland after leaving the Lacey Gaudette bar, and he went back and say, "Let's try it. Let's run her back."
I would. I mean, look at what you get here. This is a potpourri of a lot of different ways to go. Why not give this horse a chance? Definitely on the improve. Talented. We'll see how talented they are.
Race 8, the Maryland Sprint, the James W. Murphy, will be in race 9. Turf course here. A reminder of how good it is, Barry. I think they ran 5 straight turf races here.
Yeah.
And they didn't move the rails. They didn't have to. Everything was fine. I mean, just a
Lush. It's very beautiful.
The James W. Murphy is a mile on the turf course. You essentially start where they finish here at Laurel Park, and actually you can see it right behind us, of all things. $100,000. This is a 3-year-old turf race here, Barry. And I think I'm hopeful moving forward. I've talked about this a lot, that on my circuit where I live in Kentucky, I hope that they'll start picking up more of these mile type turf races. We do the SoCal Saturday show most Fridays, and those Santa Anita mile turf races are just some of our favorites.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Almost routing, almost sprinting, that in between that we both love so much. We'll do that here in the Murphy. Again, race 9 on the card today. You went the 4-horse here in Atfield. And I'm fascinated by this horse. This was my pick in the Battaglia, coming out of the Central Park, a winner there at Aqueduct in November. Came to try the synthetic to see if this could be a horse that could transition into the Derby field. Obviously, they tried it in the Transylvania last out as well. Throwing the blinkers on, Tommy Morley, what do you make of this horse?
I like it. I like the move. Clearly, they didn't like the synthetic. Came back and didn't get a great trip in the Transylvania down at Keeneland. And this is a way more winnable spot than even that one. I think the blinkers make sense. Going to get this horse into the race a little bit sooner, and that might make all the difference here. Getting Santana a little nondescript. I think we'll get all that 9-2.
Happy retirement, by the way, to Mr. Atfield.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's my guy.
Just an absolute staple.
Just
of
he's a really funny guy.
I like that.
I met him at the Pegasus a couple years ago when he ran Lady Spitespear, and he was just having a good old time at his age. I mean, it's great to see that he had that much enthusiasm at that point in his career.
It was like found money at that point,
right?
Like,
Yeah,
he's accomplished so much. He still got good horses. Like, that's awesome. I love that. So Atfield will break from the 4 for Trader Tom Morley. That's it here in race 9. I'm going to try the rail. I'm going to try my favorite bird, 10-1. Ken Sweezy won a stakes race here yesterday.
Yes, he did.
Out of the English Channel. And what I love about that race, look how fast that race was. 22 and change, 46 and change, 110 flat, 133 for the final time. Once in a while, we see that Gulfstream speed translate to other places. I am fascinated to see if this one can stalk and overcome the trip here. They get Flavian Pratt, man.
I know.
I mean, goodness gracious. I don't know that we'll get 10-1 because of Flavian, but I think we'll get all of between 6 and 8.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Honestly, I think it might be lower than that. I think this horse might end up in the 5-1 range.
I don't like you at all right now.
Because the setup is pretty good here, especially with Pratt riding. He's going to be able to get this horse in good position. I mean, he's the best positional rider we have, even better than Irad. So it's a real competitive race, and they're going to have to find a way. Me personally, I think that price is a little bit too short. I would want somewhere near that 10-1, but I don't think there's a chance you'll get it.
That's too bad. The horse has broken from the rail 3 times, never been out of the money. My favorite bird here in race 9 on the card today. Preakness 151 preview. Thanks for hanging out with us, by the way. I went 1-3-5. You went 4-5-1. So obviously we both have the 5 in the handicapping. Slightly higher for you is the favorite here, the 7th place finisher in the Transylvania in Proton out of the Grand Motion Barn. This is one, though, that we saw in many, many high-level races, both out west and here. 1-for-1 lifetime at Laurel on the firm, on firm go-to.
Yeah, I think Proton looks a lot like Atfield, honestly, on paper. And I would rather take a horse that's going to be 9-2 than one that's going to be 9-5. I mean, I guess it's the connections, local connections, Grand Motion, Johnny V. They hook up a lot here at times. And I think that's where a lot of this money is coming from. But honestly, they look almost exactly like the 4, and I'd go with the bigger price. I think this one is definitely a contender here. I wouldn't discount this horse at all, but I'm just going with the longer price.
Is it weird to you that they've only won 2 of their last 44 races together?
It's a little curious, but I mean,
always in tough spots. So that's really,
and Johnny V's all over the place.
Yeah.
So he doesn't really get to ride a lot of his horse.
And I actually downgraded that horse because of it.
Oh, interesting.
I mean, to me, I'm the kind of guy. But I'll tell you who I did upgrade in this race, and I love that they're here. Jonathan Thomas is setting Zenal here from Santa Anita. When the horse started on the dirt first time out, it is moving to the turf for this race. And here's the deal, Barry. I'm only going to say 3 things to you. Jonathan Thomas, Irad Ortiz Jr., and shipping all the way from Los Angeles for this race. They obviously think they have some.
Yeah, they do. I don't know what it is, but I'm curious to see. I mean, that race that this horse ran in, you'll see Authentic Patriot in there. And at that time, that horse was with Bob Baffert. I think this horse ran on the East Coast recently and just didn't run a step.
Okay.
So I'm real curious as to why this horse is in this spot. Usually that is actually a good angle. Is like the why is this horse here? And this might be the one for that category.
That to me is very much what I'm kind of banking on. You take one step back so that people can see the top of your head. I look at the top of your head.
You want to see my braids, right?
No, but you have hair. Like, that's nice.
I do. Yeah. No.
I don't have hair. That's bad for me.
All right. My bad.
Do you believe my wife says she doesn't care?
That's not what she told me.
That's gonna. People don't know our friendship. They don't know what you just said. Something very inflammatory. If they don't know our friendship, that you actually know. You know my you have dinner with my wife and stuff. Like, you don't.
I'm number 7. That's all they need to know. That's all they need to know. I'm number 7.
I thought some other interesting horses in here include Turf Star. The 6 horse here out of the Jeff Ruby Stakes has been on the synthetic last out. But before that was very good at Keeneland in the Bourbon as a 2-year-old. Hasn't translated as a 3-year-old. A good chance to get back to it though here, huh?
Yeah, definitely needs a bounce back, but I don't think the setup's very good here. I'm not fond of closers at a short price, and that's exactly what this horse is.
Going to try to do it from off the pace for sure, but the best run in the Bourbon was stalking. So
Yeah, I mean, there's some good horses in there. Lost to Stark Contrast twice, Gestad.
And by the way, if you don't love any of the horses at the top of this that are shipping in, that might be the motion horse to use because they've been at 30% here. He and Jorge Ruiz are excellent.
Oh, yeah.
Together at Laurel
That's
Park.
his go-to guy. So,
especially at the turn.
right. I mean, it's curious, but Johnny V's ridden Proton every time, and Ruiz hasn't rode that horse at all. Same thing with Turf Star. So, I don't know. I don't really know what to make of any of that, honestly.
Dinner party starts the pick 4 leading into the Preakness. Barry Spears and Louie Barry hanging out with you trackside Laurel Park. This is the Horse Racing Happy Hours preview. This is 151. Appreciate you hanging out with us. The dinner party is a grade 3 mile and an 8 on the turf. Grade 3 here, Barry, $250,000 in the kitty. Go ahead and tell the people why you landed on the 3 horse in here in Cruise of the Nile. Chalk eater. Why are you eating chalk?
Because
I'm gonna go to
honestly, this horse looked like a standout to me. Every race is getting better and better. I mean, I don't think this horse can run too much better than they already have, but it's just a lot better than everybody else in this race, and I think they lay over this field. Should have their run of the race wherever they want to be. Ruiz can get them there, and this is money in the bank, as they say.
Any concern that at a mile last time barely got there, or to you is it, oh no, give me the extra furlong, we're gonna run away?
And a tough trip. He was out wide the whole way, so I can forgive that sort of effort, just getting up. But he showed a lot of determination and dug it out and won that race. So I think this is going to be an easier one today.
I'm going to try Dresden Rogue here. We've got a couple of short price favorites in here. The one coming out of Keeneland was previously at Woodbine in the Richards barn, and Todd Pletcher gets this one, immediately puts it in a $150,000 allowance because we have those in Kentucky. At Keeneland, under Flavian Pratt goes ahead and wins that one. Now, I'm always interested in these kinds of races as setups for this. Now, this horse we have plenty of information on about running without Lasix. This horse is going to be fine without Lasix.
Oh, yeah.
But I'm always interested when a guy like Pletcher throws the Lasix in as part of the mix. Terrible pun there, I apologize. But, as part of the mix of getting a horse ready for a race, I think that was more of just a confidence boost kind of thing. Let's make sure you can do the turf thing, and then we'll try something like the dinner party.
Yeah.
I'll use Dresden Rowe.
Yeah, I think that's exactly what's going on here. Dresden Rowe definitely looks good. Again, another closer. I'm just not into closers.
I get it.
Closing on the turf or anywhere
I think
else.
that's why they switched up last time. If Flavian had the mount and they were right on the pace last time.
He did get him into the race. Yeah. He's going to have to do quite the same thing. I don't know if they can accomplish that against the 3 horse here.
Yeah, Cruise the Nile, son of Cairo Prince, of course. A gelded son, so we're going to see that horse for a while.
Yeah, he's going to be running.
Yeah, we're going to see him for a minute. 3, 4, and 6 for you. 6, 3, and 4 for me. So we landed on the same 3 horses here, Barry. The 4 is Fort Washington. And this is one that we've seen at a much longer distance than 9 furlongs several times, including in the Turf Cup at Kentucky Downs. They tried the Arlington Million and won at Colonial. It's a grade 1 winner.
Yeah, I call this one the Shug Special. You can see his past performances. He looks like a classic Shug trained horse. He has a really strong kick. Surprised me actually at Colonial when he won that day. Came out of that race, ran in a couple of tough events. One with Test Score, and then Tiz Dashing. They were kind of up against it. If they get the setup, they could be tough, because if this horse is able to hang around and be close enough, this is the best closer in the race for sure.
Fort Washington, now 7 years old, man.
I know.
18 times 31 starts, which as a distance runner in turf races is not easy to do.
No, super tough.
Just been fantastic. He does have 2 wins at the distance of the 9 furlongs as well. We move on to the Gallerette, another turf race here, a grade 3, race 11 here at Laurel Park today. $150,000 on the line. Barry 3 and up in this one on the filly and mare side of things. Who'd you like in the Gallerette?
I like number 5, Austere. This is the horse that I
mentioned this horse to open the show.
Yeah, I've been touting this horse since they ran the last time. I was like, this horse is going to win next time out. They land in a great spot here. It totally looks like the last race at Keeneland was a prep. I bet the horse that day, so they owe me a little bit. But I think I'm going to get all of that back and then some today. I know the price isn't going to be there. I would say they're probably going to be in the 3-1 range, but that's perfect for me. I'll take that $8 and go to the bank with it.
I'm going to try to beat Austere here with the 7, Child of the Moon. I read rides for Chad. Comes out of another race at Keeneland, very similar one. Before that, though, was excellent in the Hillsborough. Just Destino d'Oro that day was not going to lose. I think if that horse runs that race again, I think she's.
Yeah, no, this horse is as tough as any. Has to work out a trip because they do come from far back, and again, that's just something I'm not into. But I can definitely see how this horse could win this race. You run it 10 times, they could win probably about 3 or 4.
Sure. Yeah, no, that makes sense to me as well. You went 5, 3, 1, and 4 here. We both have the 1 and the 3 in our handicapping. Break the Rail is a 15-1 shot. The morning line's putting Louis Size in the double digits is adorable. It's adorable. I mean, it's adorable. It's not gonna happen. I'm not gonna get double digits on bleeping Louis Size on a big day.
No, not in this spot either. Not with this horse.
This horse who almost darn near came back and won the Dahlia last time under Vincent Cheminot. Moved to Louis Size. This one to me, if you're looking for the upset in this race, it's not a question.
Yeah. This horse could get a great trip under Louis Size. He can sit on a nice pocket trip.
Distance is a huge part.
Yes, and that was the thing, the stretch out. This horse was running pretty good overseas in some pretty tough races, honestly, in comparison to what they're seeing today. But I think this horse stands a really good chance. That 15-1 is a pipe dream. I'd say you probably get around 4 or 5-1.
Totally agree. 7, 1, and 3 for me here. 5, 3, and 1 for Barry. We both have the 3 in here. Accent, the other brown here.
The other Chad.
Flavia Pratable.
Yeah, I mean, this horse, all Chad's horses, especially off the layoff, are always dangerous. This one fits the bill. I know he came back, which is interesting. Got a really bad chip. Got checked really bad, body checked like instantly, and kind of cost this horse the race. Gets back to a winnable spot, better post position, should have a good run of it.
Tried it without Lasix last time, ran okay in the Plenty of Grace there at Aqueduct. I'm interested to see this one rebound off of that performance, right? Because I think that was probably below what they thought she was going to do.
Sure.
But also, moving into Stakes Company for the first time, had been 3 for 3. I got to admit, a little surprised that horse wasn't favored that day, but I think Flavian was aboard a different horse in the same race that way. We'll move on to race 12, Turf Sprint here. It's a 5.5 furlong event, the Jim McKay Turf Sprint. Race 12, $125,000 on the line, 3 and up in this one. Yesterday, Barry, we made the very bold decision in our pick 6 to go skinny in the turf sprint.
We did,
and it worked. Will it work today?
Probably not.
Okay. You landed on a horse near the outside of the 11. That is, sorry.
Had to have him.
Had to have him.
Had to have him.
Johnny Salzman, who sat next to us the whole day yesterday.
Yep. Sure did.
Crushing it, was having fun. And Javion Toledo gets a ride for him, 28% together. here at Laurel Park. It's the outside post. I like that in the turf sprint.
Yes, I love that in this turf sprint. All the speed to the inside. This horse should get a really good stalking trip from the outside. Flying on the radar, I think we might get a little bit higher than that 8-1.
Yep.
But this horse can finish, and Toledo's going to get him in the right spot for us.
Heavy on Toledo rode this horse in the Maryland Million Turf Sprint in October, right here at Laurel Park. They won that race in a quick 102 and change. So if that horse runs back to that form, I mean, no question.
Well, his last race, he kind of had to, he got roughed up a little bit and had to go around horses. And it was the longest trip. Now they're already on the outside. They can stalk and they won't get, have all that energy to expend to try to get around 8 other horses or something like that. They're going to be in a good spot.
The fascinating part about this horse, too, is before that, won in the Laurel Dash, which is for Open Company, comes back in Maryland Company, obviously wins that one as well. Has to face Open Company again here today, but does make sense, I think, breaking from the outside. I went to the 4-horse here, Barry, with Chasing Liberty, Rob Atras, and Irad Ortiz Jr. This one was in the King Leatherberry right here at Laurel Park last out, right behind Outlaw Kid. I'll give Irad the bump here and move him up in my game.
Yeah, I think that run over the track is a big plus for this horse.
That was first off the layout, too. Came back.
Right, exactly. So they know what they're dealing with. Second time out, they're on the same turf course they were. I don't expect this horse not to run today. I think they're going to give it their best shot here.
4-horse on top for me in race 12 today. 4, 3, and 11. 11, 2, and 4 for Barry. The 2-horse here, Barry, is Determined Kingdom. This is a very interesting one coming out of the King Leatherberry here. But before that was running well both at Keeneland and at Colonial. Interesting company for this one today.
Yeah.
You get Jose Ortiz, which, I mean, good.
Well, I think that's probably the difference maker, as hot as Jose is right now. This horse has 10 wins on the turf, 3 at Laurel, which kind of stands out a little bit. I think getting to a familiar turf course in a spot that's, last time they were in that same race as Outlaw Kid and Chasing Liberty, and they got a terrible trip from the outside. Getting a better post position this time. Jose Ortiz aboard. I think this one's looking good.
Be the 21st try at the.
Oh, that 6-1 is not going down either.
So 21st try at the distance, Barry. 10 wins in 20 tries so far. The horse just does not miss when running at this distance. Spectacular stuff. Well, let's get into the Preakness field. We're going to bring in our guest for today. You coming in? We'll get in here. We're live and having fun.
I didn't want to crash the party.
We'll get in here. We'll get in the middle.
Is that what this is? That's not a crash.
So, don't worry, brother. I got something for you.
I'm here to get my trophy. That was
That's it. Yes, from the draft.
I hit it
He
again.
whooped us in the draft. He had the exact code.
Choice I won. Oh, look at this.
There you go.
Oh.
For those of you who do not follow the Thursday edition of the Horse Racing Happy Hour, Steve came on with our friend Bobby Hull,
Yeah.
from Blood Horse, and we did a Wood Memorial preview. And you picked Elvis based on a win out of Tampa for Riley Mott, who, thank God, he shipped incredible here. And then didn't listen to his dad. And but had this as well. And I said, I'm going to pop by the barn, little Elvis. And you get a little signature.
This is awesome.
It's a little beat up, but it's the play. There you go.
This is awesome. This is awesome, and this is fitting, given what I'm thinking in the Preakness today too.
Uh-oh. Foreshadowing.
All right, so let's go ahead. We'll go through a couple of different things. I want to ask the question for Steve Kornacki. You are a guy who loves, you're like me, you love the Preakness.
Yeah.
You love coming here.
Yeah.
Wayne Lucas was your guy. He loved this race. He always took it seriously, always shipped his horses. I remember asking him before last year's Preakness, why are you sending American Province? He looked at me like I had 10 heads.
Right.
I said, Louie is my best friend. That's
Right.
why he's going. It's like, okay.
Right.
We've got a Whit Beckman with O'Selly in here. We've got a Riley Mott with Incredible in here. Maybe these young guys will start picking this thing back up.
Yeah, no, I like the idea of, Bill Mott obviously has had some thoughts about this race. Although I guess Riley is saying that his dad told him, hey, if you think the horse is ready, if you think the horse can handle it, go and do it. I heard somebody make the joke like any good father, it's do as I say, not as I do. So, but no, listen, I think it would be great just for the sport and for the event itself, if one of these horses coming back on 2 weeks rest could win today.
Okay, I think that's interesting. And of course, the other storyline is Brittany Russell, right? Of course, the local connections, but obviously we're watching women go ahead and dominate the Triple Crown Series now, which doesn't surprise any of us who follow the sport all the time. We see them at the track and doing the work. But the Taj Mahal story, that Federico Tessio winner, hasn't been since 84.
No.
It debuted Tessio. By 84, I mean 1984 kids. If you
Oh, I thought it was 1884. Seems like it.
Taj Mahal, big chance today for you?
Yeah, I mean, look, I don't know Laurel that well, but
Right.
talking to some of the folks here this week about the surface, this just being a kind of a deep and tiring surface, and you don't know how necessarily all these horses are going to handle it. Here's a horse who's 3 for 3 over it. One, as you say, to Tessio. And I think just sort of visually, the way the horse won the race, I mean, it reminded me, I know the horse started with Baffert. I was just saying to somebody, it was a little Baffert-esque, you know, had the lead, they're catching up, and kind of re-breaks there and just opens up on him.
Yeah, no, the Tessio was really, really impressive. We'll get your thoughts. Who do you got on top, and maybe who's a long shot you like in the Preakness? By the way, incredible betting race. Really came together. Fantastic.
We actually, we're looking at the odds. You can go back to 117 years and find Preakness odds. The longest priced favorite ever in this race is 4-1.
Ooh.
I think we are going to have literally the most wide open Preakness. So when you say great betting race, I think literally you can
Historically the greatest
this year. Yeah, 4-1's happened twice, 7-2's happened twice. I mean, favorites win this half the time historically. We see 53 of the last 60. The favorite's been 2-1 or less in this race.
Wow.
So this is, I mean, yeah, no star power, but as a horse player, I think you take the trade.
Picking Incredible?
I'm going with Incredible. Yeah. You know, look, I actually was a little interested in the horse for the Derby. I hated the long break from the Virginia Derby into the Kentucky Derby. I know some people have said this. I kind of agree with it. It's a weird thing to think, but the Kentucky Derby was kind of a prep
Second off layout.
for the Preakness. I like the 2 weeks works coming off the long rest into the Derby. Ran a respectable Derby. I think could get the kind of pace setup he needs here today. And I like him.
All right, Steve Kornacki. You also get Jaime Torres, who won this thing.
Or Dwayne Lucas.
There you go.
He's the great.
Yes.
Come on. It's like, I got to do it, you know?
Yes,
That's the good stuff for sure. All right, well, Steve, what are you working on today? Are you doing the big board and all that?
Yeah.
What are you working on?
No, we're taking a look, you know, some fun piece we're going to do on the difference between the Pimlico infield,
Yes.
you know, booze, outhouses, revelry, and
to the
the
serene.
reserve that is, you know, the bald eagle colony out there.
I appreciate Steve Kornacki going booze, outhouses, and then revelry.
Yeah.
Remember, kids, use the bathroom before the revelry. That is the key to all of this here at the Preakness 51. Steve, we appreciate you.
Good luck today.
Thanks.
Great to see you.
Great to see you, man.
Nice to
Steve
see you.
Kornacki, NBC Sports. There you go. Now time for our Preakness picks here. Barry and man, I hope he's right, because I'm going to have Incredible on my tickets. I know you are as well. You have Incredible second in your handicapping. By the way, shout out Riley Mott for just looking at this field and going, oh, my horse is better than that. My
Yeah,
horse is better than that.
right.
My horse is better than that. Because, by the way, as a trainer, you should be thinking like that. So
Absolutely.
take your spot, pick your spots, but take your chances where you know you've got a chance. It's interesting. He is second off the layoff here, essentially.
Yeah, no, I mean, he looks as good as any in this field. It's honestly just a matter of price, and I think everybody's going to get your price. You know, as our friend Danny Brewer says, you get your price, back your price,
Right.
and get paid.
That's right.
And whoever you like in this race, you're going to get a good price.
And you're on Iron Honor here.
I am.
Chad Brown, this would be a third time doing this kind of route.
Yes, and I think this horse is a really, really nice horse, a lot nicer than people kind of realize, because he didn't make the Derby field. They had one crack at it in the Wood Memorial, drew very poorly to the way outside in the 13 hole, and just didn't have a shot. But I thought it was impressive that horse kept running. And in fact, I remember we were watching this race at Keeneland after the Bluegrass, and I said that right after the race, I was like, that horse kept going. That's a really nice horse.
Yep.
I'm going to bet that horse back. Here we are. Right now, we're getting 8-1. I'm all about it.
Breaks from the 9 today, had to break from the 12 in the Wood Memorial. And if you know that layout at Aqueducts, brutal kind of stuff. Shouldn't have to do as much work today. Flavien Prat gets the mount for the first time, taking over for Manny Franco, who had the mounts up there at Aqueducts. I feel like I'm throwing one downfield here, but other people are agreeing with me. I'm going to try Chip Honcho today. I'm going to try Jose Ortiz. I'm going to try Steve Asmussen, who takes shipping to Maryland as seriously as any national trade. Saw him yesterday.
Saw him a lot yesterday, yeah.
Being nice, take pictures with fans and stuff. Chip Honcho, out of that Louisiana route, I just watched Golden Tempo win. I watched him almost get there with Paladin in February. I'm hoping we get back to that form, away from whatever we saw in the Louisiana Derby. I think we'll actually get better than 5-1 on him today. And so I think I might get 6, maybe 7-1.
Oh, easily.
Like that. And so if I can get 7-8-1 on him, I get Jose Ortiz. I really do trust him in this one.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't fault anybody for liking this horse. I soured on Chip Honcho after they didn't beat Paladin. And I think they just kind of fell off form a little bit, and that's what happened the last race. If they're able to bounce back, this horse is as good as any.
We're going to wrap here, live from Laurel Park. His name is Barry Spears. I'm Louie Barry. This has been the Horse Racing Happy Hour. Thanks for hanging out with us. And if you're listening there at ESPN 680 1057, I'll be back with you on Revolt and Co. 10 o'clock on Monday morning. Can't wait to hang out with all of you and have your terrible texts come my direction. For Barry, I'm Louie. Thanks, everybody, here at Laurel Park. Have a great Saturday and happy Preakness 151.